what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good week. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and check out the links in the description. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up. So last night, Superman and Lois premiered on the CW. I just finished watching it a little while ago. I didn't watch it last night. But, so of course I want to give my overall general thoughts of the show. It was a 2-episode premiere, or 2-hour premiere, basically. I don't expect to be going into spoiler territory on this specific video. I'd rather save that for a live stream when, kind of allows me to take more time to go into more detail, answer specific questions in real time, and, not accidentally spoil things for people who haven't seen the show, because if people are asking specific questions about certain scenes or, things, then I know people have already watched it. So no spoilers in this video, just overall general thoughts on the show, and then I'll go into more detail on a live stream probably tomorrow, but I'll tweet that out and share that when that's going to be. But okay, so I have to say, first off, I am very surprised by the show. It does not give me the CW vibe of other DC shows like The Flash and Supergirl and, Arrow. It has a very different vibe from those shows, in my opinion. I am surprised by, even this premiere has already given me kind of different opinion about Tyler Hoechlin as Superman and Clark. Because I mentioned this before when the first trailer came out for Superman and Lois. On Supergirl and like the crossover episodes, when they started bringing Superman on, Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, I did not like him. I thought he was useless. I thought he was very underpowered, underwhelming, and not necessarily him as an actor, but just the way they portrayed his version of Superman was not convincing to me at all. And I know that they were just trying to show, they wanted to let Supergirl shine, and I get all that. But it didn't get me excited or interested in him having his own show. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it was a good way to kind of prepare people for him to have his own show, because he was underwhelming in my opinion. And so I was not interested in this show, just based on how they portrayed him in the crossover episodes and on Supergirl. But then that trailer, which I talked about when it came out, I was like, wow, this is different. Like, I think I might actually enjoy this more than I expected. And I did. I had mixed feelings about that, because when the trailer came out, it had so many, like, Man of Steel vibes, and I appreciated that, but at the same time I was upset and, like, frustrated, because the studio didn't want to embrace that before with Henry Cavill, and now suddenly it seems like they want to embrace those kinds of things about this show. But, I have to say, I really liked the premiere. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm still not completely on board with who they cast as Lois. Like, I just, for some reason, I don't connect with her as Lois. I don't know why. But Tyler Hoechlin, I think he's kind of starting to change my mind about him being a TV version of Superman. And I don't say that like as an insult, but Henry Cavill is my Superman for films, so I'm not changing my mind on that, never whatsoever. But for this show, like, I really did enjoy it. At first last night I saw people sharing the opening scene on Twitter, so I don't think that's really a spoiler, because it was all over social media, and it's not really spoiler for the show. It's taken directly from the comics, which I knew immediately. It was, that immediate imagery of saving, it was a green car and everything, saving a kid. The line of like, oh, nice suit, thanks, my mom made it for me. When I first saw that on Twitter and I hadn't watched the show, I was kind of like, oh man, here's the cheese, But the opening montage of the show, it works in that way because, it's like when he's a young Superman. And so it was fine. It was quick. It wasn't cheesy. It was, it's taken directly from the comics, which you can't really always, that's, that's cool. Of course the suit was a little like, but you realize that it's obviously not like a present day. So, I mean, I still don't immediately see Superman when I look at Tyler Hoechlin, but his performance, I mean, he's, in my opinion, did a great job so far in this pilot, in this premiere. Um, it's still just surprising to me how many like Man of Steel vibes I get from it, from the music, the color palette, the tone of the whole thing. Like I said, is very different from other CW shows. The CGI looks really good so far. You can tell that the budget for this show, like they're taking it more seriously than other CW shows. Um, I mean, we know immediately like he got a major suit upgrade, which we saw when they first started releasing promos and stuff, and behind the scenes shots started coming out for the show. His suit looks a lot better than it did in Supergirl and the crossover shows, so that's a big plus because you don't want it to like take you out of the show and be distracting. So I know it's a lot of padding, it's a lot of padding, but it still looks a lot better than the first suit that they gave him. Um, the story is interesting to me so far. It's very different from other TV or any kind of live action versions we've got of Superman in the past because just in the sense that he's older and more experienced and he has kids. He and Lois have kids. And they're teenagers. So, um, that in and of itself is going to make for a very different story throughout the series because we've never really seen that before in live action. And so I think there's already stuff being foreshadowed or possibly hinted at with his sons. They're very different. First of all, they're twins and they're very different. They're kind of polar opposites in their personalities. You kind of have the jock and then the one who's a little, a little less sure of himself, and he has mental health issues, which I think um, it's. I'm kind of glad that they. I mean, it's not ever a bad thing to show people's mental health issues on TV. Like in that needs to be represented for sure, as long as it's done in the right way and it's not, increasing the stigma towards that or it's not disrespectful. You know, I think it's going to be important for his character in the show. And I mean, like I said, I liked the opening montage of the show. I won't go into too much detail about. I mean, people have probably seen pictures about it already, and if you've watched it, but I liked the opening montage of the show, um, of the premiere. I like the action so far. Like I said, the CGI looks pretty good. I mean, given that when a lot of times when they have to have like for Supergirl, like oh, it took a while for the CGI just to look decent. So when they have like flying and like this in the air type of action, that can tend to look pretty bad, and it looked good to me in this show. Now, the villain that we get introduced to, first of all, his suit, his really reminds me of like Halo right off the bat. So that was interesting. His suit's pretty dope, actually. Um, and I won't give away who they revealed they kind of revealed the name of the villain at the end of the premiere, which I won't give that away. But it's very interesting to see um, how much he knows about Superman, and you know, I'm interested to continue to get the villain's story. And if you've watched it, you already kind of, know a little bit about that. And probably in my live stream or when I go into spoilers, I'll mention what the showrunner said about the villain. But I think it's going to be definitely interesting moving forward. It's heavy. I mean, there's things that are, you know, what the studio considered dark or too serious for Henry Cavill's universe of Superman. Like, they have those kind of things in this show already, and it's just the premiere. So I expect those kind of things to continue throughout the series, and I don't mind that. Like, I'm glad. I think it's good that it feels heavier and different from the other CW shows. There's things that remind me of Smallville because I really loved Smallville. There's things that remind me of Man of Steel. Like, it's just hard not to have, like I said, mixed feelings about that because if they're going to go that route on the TV show, um, at least to an extent, then they need to continue. Why not continue to embrace that for Henry Cavill's Superman? You know what I mean? Yes, Tyler Hoechlin, like this version of Superman is still kind of the classic Superman, I've already seen people kind of not making bad comparisons, but just kind of saying like you can enjoy the fact that Tyler Hoechlin's Superman is kind of, a good representation of like a classic Superman, and Henry Cavill is a good representation of a modern, updated, not necessarily updated, but yeah, like a modern day real life Superman. It's okay to enjoy both of those things. I just hope that the studio realizes that. You know what I mean? Like, because Superman and Lois does kind of have both of those things going on. It's not all bright and sunshine and, rainbows and everyone's happy and everything's perfect. No, like, it's I'm still trying to process that. I'm so surprised that I really liked it. Like, it's not that I didn't want to like it. I just didn't expect to. Like, I had low expectations when they announced the show. I didn't think I'd have any interest in it, and it really changed my mind. Now, I know that there are some, you know, potentially controversial things because of what one of the writers that got booted from the show had come out and started talking about, she started sharing, Nadria Tucker. Not too long ago, she had come out and kind of was sharing her experience of a negative experience of trying to push for more female representation in terms of Lois's story and people of color. And so yesterday, since the show premiered, she was kind of coming out and even still today sharing some more of those things. And saying that, I mean, she said, to clarify, I wasn't the only person of color or femme writer on Superman and Lois. Whatever amount of representation you see on screen are hard-fought wins from some very talented people, despite everything else. So unfortunately, it seems like there was a battle to have certain types of representation shown on screen, and it's unfortunate, what happened with her experience on the show. And I understand why she is speaking out about it. She mentioned some things about Jeff Johns as well. And Ray Fisher retweeted her and shared his own kind of thing about with Jeff Johns too. So I'll probably go into more detail about that on the live stream. But, I think I am going to enjoy the show. Like I said, I'm interested to see what they continue the story about the villain. There was one thing that I was kind of like, man, why did they make that way? And it has to do with something when Superman is fighting the villain. There was something that I was kind of like, I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but it didn't matter the way it should have mattered, in my opinion. Something that, the villain did to Superman should have had more of an effect. And if you've seen the show or, whatever already, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But I'll go into more detail about that on the live stream. But I just hope that they don't shy away from the fact that Superman does have a weakness, and if it's used against him in some way, it should have an effect on him also. But I do like the way that they have showcased his abilities so far. It doesn't seem like he's going to be underpowered. But at the same time, I think it's important for him to have a balance between, if he's challenged with if he's challenged in a way that should challenge him physically, then we should see that. But it's, and he doesn't seem underpowered. I like how they're showing his abilities so far. And even in the beginning, I don't think this is a spoiler, even in the beginning, we have this voiceover during the montage of it kind of catching up to present day. And he is explaining that, like, he remembers being in his mother's womb, coming to Earth. Like, he remembers Martha and Jonathan finding him. I thought that was a really cool thing to add, like his memory capability. So I appreciated that. But overall, I enjoyed the pilot. I enjoyed the premiere. I'm looking forward to how the story continues to develop with his sons, with the villain. And so, yeah, I'm surprised. I am surprised that I enjoyed it this much. Um, so I don't want to see people fighting about, Henry Cavill and Tyler Hoechlin and all of that. We can enjoy both, and that's fine. Just like I've said before, there's no reason to fight about Christopher Reeves and Henry Cavill. You know, respect Christopher Reeves definitely for his interpretation. I really enjoyed, um, you know, Tom Welling, even though he was more Clark Kent than Superman, but still, I love Smallville. I love Henry Cavill. I mean, I'm starting to more appreciate now Tyler Hoechlin. So it's okay. It's okay. I just don't want the studio to try to, force certain things that don't need to be forced. But, definitely interested to see how this season plays out of Superman and Lois. And like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, stay tuned for details about a live stream to go into more detail about it. I don't expect it to happen today, but I will share that on Twitter when I have more specific details. But thanks guys for watching. Check out the links in the description. Leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and see you next time.